Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is August the 12th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Doing the best I can on this Tuesday. Try not to get chewed up and spit out. No, overall, it's been a good day. Just very hectic with all the house sitting stuff and making the day all work come together. So let's go ahead and just do a quick breakdown and let's get into some news because technically my day's not even over yet. But we start off, we go to the house, we check it out, and also update from last night. The cat did turn up. He was chilling on the couch, and I'm like, okay, I just needed to know you were in the house and didn't make some magical escape. So we are good. We are good to go. Love that for us. Also, the other cat loves me. I don't know if I mentioned that fully, but like he's like coming up to like he'll be scared sometimes, but then other times he will literally just come and just like cuddle attack me, trying to do like biscuits on my chest. Like, bro, chill. Let me watch this YouTube, please. But overall, that's good. Mark that off. So we're starting off the day with a good vibe. I'm happy about that. I take the dogs out, do the little plant stuff. We make it happen. We get our little coffee when we come back home and, we get our ass to work. Work was busy. I can tell that it's a busy week. I don't know if it's the combination of me having the hour off each day for the week and if maybe there's a bit of a backpile and maybe it's just really busy. Column A, column B, a little bit of both. I don't know. But it was very busy today and I didn't love that, didn't like that. But, we motored on, we kept it pushing. And then after that, we go back to the house to check in on the dogs, check in on everything. And I go in and it's like the same situation as yesterday where one of the dogs is where he normally is and the other one's nowhere to be seen. And I already know what that means. He's in the basement. I'm going to have to like nudge him up the stairs, coax him up the stairs somehow, some way. And I get there and I get down to the bottom of the stairs and I immediately know something's off, something's wrong. And I look like into the darkness and I can see some pieces of poop. And I'm like, buddy, what did you do? And like, I get it. It's not his fault. He's just a little dog. He's just a big dog, and he's really old. And I get the feeling maybe that's his comfort spot, And honestly, it's more on me in terms of not making sure that he had a full movement. I figured, hey, if you don't need to go right now, that's fine. It's been working okay, so I'll just get you when I get back. He didn't have that kind of time, I guess. So he did his business downstairs. So I check in, with the person I'm dog sitting for, kind of get a little bit of a sit rep, do a little bit of cleaning on the spots. And I proceed to take him out real quick. I'm like, okay, this sucks, but I got to go to the gym. Naturally, doing all this has set my time way off. I get out of the gym much later, but I will say I at least got all my machines and whatnot, at least for the most part. It was still very busy. Kind of had to do some substitutes, but overall, like the same workout, very good. I get back to my house and everything, and I realize like, okay, with the time, I don't have much time, so I'm gonna do a little bit of stretching. I'm gonna have a little snack. I'm gonna go check on the dogs. As I'm going out, it starts raining and I'm like, oh no. So I'm immediately remembering what dude told me. And he's like, hey, the dog that went down to the basement, he does it a lot when it's raining. So he doesn't like storms. And the other dog doesn't like storms either. And the other dog has been super chill, super good, very obedient. And this time it's the opposite situation where big dog. Also, I have the names for the dogs now. Isaac is the big black old dog, and then Vince is the big black old dog. So I'm getting them mixed up. And then Isaac is the brown pitty. So Vince comes up to me and he's like ready to go outside, surprisingly, and I'm like, okay, great, perfect. And I'm like, okay, where's the other one? Isaac, come on, bud, let's go. And I go to the room and I see him cowering under the table. He's literally shaking, y'all. He's got drool coming out of his mouth. He's so scared. He's like petrified. And he's not like being crazy or erratic or anything, but all he can do is look at me. That's like all he is willing to do. He won't move. And I don't want to like force him. I don't want to like do anything crazy. I'm not his guy. I'm not his master. He doesn't know me. So I don't want to put him in a situation, put me in a situation, right? So I'm like, oh boy, oh brother, what are we gonna do? I hadn't even gotten my podcast in yet. I haven't even eaten yet. So I'm like, all right, it's raining, it's storming. I'm gonna come back in a little bit and we'll see if I can get you guys outside. Hopefully both of you guys will go outside, do your business, and we'll be okay. We can call this good, call it closed. So I'm doubling back here, doing this podcast episode now. Probably gonna be a late upload, but so it goes, right? I'm just hoping that they don't have any accidents or anything like that. And yeah, that's kind of the situation as it is. But yeah, overall, despite the hecticness, the craziness, little stress, but overall, it's been good. It's been a good day, and we're gonna finish it all as strong as we can. So yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup and let's get into some news. Probably gonna be quick with it. Also worth noting, I made some flubs in terms of like numbers and stuff with the last episode. I left that in the corrections corner, so feel free to check that out if you want to get the skinny on that. But yeah, no time anyway. Oh, and speaking of mistakes, sorry, I don't know what happened with the upload. It took like a whole minute for me to start talking. That's not how it was supposed to be uploaded. So mea culpa for that. Shout out to anyone and everyone who listened in spite of that. I was like so happy to see people reacting. I was like, oh my God. Because for a second I was about to delete the episode until I realized like, no, it uploaded. It just isn't working. And I'm like, what the fuck ever. Okay. And also shout out to the new subscriber on YouTube. Thank you so much. I know it was a terrible like first episode, so that sucks. It's a really shitty first impression, and this is a shittier second one. So, cheers. I'll drink to that. Oh, okay, okay. Let's get started. From the Independent, Spanish police raid a spiritual retreat where guests were given toad venom, cactus, and ayahuasca. Police have seized several bottles of toad poison and 11 liters of the psychedelic drug ayahuasca during a series of raids at a spiritual retreat in eastern Spain. 3 people were arrested in the Guardia Civil, not sure, swooped on 2 properties in a rural area. Excuse me. Ooh, boy, big burps. Of the town of Predruger near Alicante on Monday. Police found 945 Ritalin tablets, ayahuasca, and bottles of toad venom at the properties, which belonged to a company promising to provide astral journeys. They also recovered 117 San Pedro cactus plants, which contain the psychoactive substance mescaline. Officers began investigating the retreat after receiving a complaint from a victim 5 months ago. They said, leading detectives to a company advertising traditional medicine and vacation packages using ayahuasca, San Pedro cactus, and combo toad venom. Police said the company sold itself as an internally renowned spiritual retreat organization, attracting clients from all over the world. Also, it's worth noting that I have in the thumbnail the toad venom. I'm not going to lie to you, that shit looked tasty. And I'm sure it is not tasty, but I'm sure it is a hell of a ride. Anyway, sorry. Guests could choose between several different lengths of stay, accommodation, and substances, police said, with the average price per package exceeding 1,000 euros, police said. They estimated the group had made several €100,000 over the last year without declaring any income. Several dozen beds were found set up in rooms designated for astral travel, where police said clients were simultaneously treated by 6 members of the group who prepared and administered the substances and accompanied them through the process. Pictures released by Guardia Civil show a dozen mattresses on a tiled floor with buckets and boxes of tissues next to each bed. They added 16 clients were staying at the retreat at the time of the raids. Guardia Civil officers also uncovered rudimentary and unhygienic home laboratory where substances were prepared. Ayahuasca, the San Pedro cactus, combo toad venom, harmala, and mimosa are naturally occurring substances with highly harmful effects on humans, they said. Officers arrested 3 people, 2 men, and a 33-year-old woman considered the ringleaders of the group. Company administrators responsible for advertising the services, managing the finances, and preparing the substances for consumption. 5 of the people, 3 men and 2 women, are believed to be the organization's spiritual guides responsible for administering the substance and accompanying the clients during drug use. They have also been investigated. All of them are charged with drug trafficking, money laundering, and membership in a criminal organization. The seized substances has been sent to official laboratories for toxicity analysis. Whew. So yeah, this is an interesting story to me. It's got all the things that I love, drugs, and it's got crime. I find it all kind of coming together in a nice way to talk about. But I am of 2 minds about this. One is, hell yeah, this shit looks sweet. I'm just being 100% real. I've always wanted to go on an ayahuasca trip. I've always wanted to take something like mescaline, because those are just like psychedelic, psychoactive drugs that I haven't had. They're on my bucket list. But I mean, I'm 34 now, and I'm kind of a point where I've researched it enough, and I know it generally will put you on a bad time before it puts you on a good one. And also there's levels of risk to this shit. I mean, you have a guide, but you don't know this person. You only know them because you came to this place and now you're looking for a whole experience, right? Like, that's why for me, like, I remember when I was younger, in my like 20s and stuff, I would talk to my friends about this, and they're like, yeah, I want to go through the whole thing, really like go on the vision quest or whatever. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, hell yeah, man, me too. But like, I'm down to do this shit in someone's basement if they're my, like, if I know them, if I trust them, or if it's just easily available. I don't want to go, cross a border to do some fucking drugs. That's too much effort. It's too much work for me. I'm good. But now, like I said, at 34, maybe I look at things a little bit different, maybe I don't want to get really sick and gross and, potentially something worse happen to me. And you can understand why it's like, hey, we got a tip that, some illegal shit's going down. People could get killed. People could get hurt. Let's get involved. Let's do something about it. And you see too, when you look into it, like none of this is really on the level, it seems. It's like they're kind of going under the guise that like, hey, this is like an official astral journey that we're about to take you on. When really you go in there and it's like the shitty Inception setup, and like people are just like chilling in like a fucking opium den style situation with some guys maybe holding their hand, with some like tissues. So, maybe not so magical of a journey to go on. Maybe a bit of buyer beware there. But yeah, if I hear any more from this story, we'll definitely be back to it. You know how I do. But yeah, let's swim on to the next story. Let's actually take it to France. From The Guardian. Swarm of jellyfish shuts down nuclear power plant in France. Now, I don't know about y'all, but when I initially read this headline and I get into the story, this feels like a Pokemon moment where like some like jellyfish ass fucking swarm comes through, shuts down the whole plant, and like what? You gotta like, get your character through the shit so you can battle the gym trainer or something. Like, that's immediately what I pictured in my head, and I was like, all right, I want to cover this. I'm thinking about this too much. But a swarm of jellyfish has forced the shutdown of one of the largest nuclear power plants in France after entering the water intake systems used to cool the coastal reactors. 3 reactors at the Gravelines nuclear power plant in northern France shut down automatically late on Sunday, according to the French nuclear company EDF, after the filter drums of the pumping stations became packed with a massive and unpredictable swarm of marine creatures. The entire nuclear plant, capable of powering about 5 million homes, was brought offline when a 4th reactor shut down shortly after the free-swimming invertebrates jammed the power plant, which had already lost 2 of its other reactors for planned summer maintenance work. So that's like just the worst-case scenario here. EDF, which is owned by the French state, said the event did not affect the safety of the facilities, staff, or the environment. There does not appear to be any change to the electricity exports from France to the UK. So that's good news there. The Gravelines plant draws water used in its cooling systems from a canal connected to the North Sea, which is home to several native species of jellyfish often seen around the shoreline in the summer when the waters are warmer. Jellyfish have a long history of derailing the normal operations of coastal power plants, which tap the ocean for the vast amounts of cool water needed to keep the temperatures in check. The repeated problems caused by unexpected jellyfish numbers prompted scientists at the University of Bristol to develop an early warning tool to predict a sudden en masse appearance of jellyfish swarms that might disrupt coastal power plants. Like, I'm struggling to find like a real life comparison, and I'm sure this is lacking, but this almost seems like if like birds or something hitting like a wind turbine or something, and you have their migration, and technically these wind turbines are in the way of their migration, and they don't know any better, but then they potentially are getting killed and mashed up against it. I haven't heard though of any situation of like wind turbines getting like taken down because of that, but I don't know. To me that kind of seemed a little bit similar, where you have like the construction of something that has a noble endeavor for humanity, but like is actively disrupting nature in and of itself, and then disrupting itself in the process. So I don't know. Things I'm pondering. Let's see. They go through some historical things. Let's see. We'll read one at least. Jellyfish swarms have also closed nuclear and coal power plants in Sweden, the U.S., Japan, and even caused a major blackout in the Philippines in 1999 that some mistakenly feared was linked to the Y2K bug or a government coup. That's crazy to think, like, oh my God, Y2K is happening, and it's just jellyfish gumming up the works. I would be like, oh, okay, that's less bad. That's less scary, actually. Okay. All right. The rest of the episode is just going to be a couple of recalls. So, pretty low stakes, potentially, though death potentially might be in store. So buyer beware. From Yahoo News. Hand soap recalled nationwide over bacterial contamination that could cause sepsis. Here's a list of the affected products. Nearly 4 dozen lots of hand soap and lotion products made by Dermarite Industries are being voluntarily recalled after the company discovered contamination by potentially deadly bacteria, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food Safety, and Inspection Service. The bacteria in question, Burkholderia capicia, whatever, can spread into the bloodstream through cuts and cause life-threatening sepsis, particularly in immunocompromised individuals. Here's what you need to know about the recall. According to Dermarite, the recalled products were distributed throughout the United States and Puerto Rico. They include multiple lots of 4 different items. We're just going to just say the names of them. There's DermaClean, there's Dermacera, and Clean Foam. And then also Perigene. They all have lot numbers, and you can see if yours is affected by going on Yahoo News, checking out this article, seeing what's up. But according to Dermarite's voluntary recall notice, the company has not received any reports of adverse effects related to this recall. So that's good. Let's see. If you're immunocompromised, I would say you should be the most worried. Otherwise, if you're healthy, you're probably good. The risk is much lower. But obviously, just be aware if you have bought in any of these products. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you reference that lot number. And if you do have it, then or not the bacteria thing. If you do have the item, go ahead and throw that out or get it returned for an exchange, refund, something to that effect. Hopefully. All right. We have one more thing that I wanted to cover, and this is sad but sweet. Anyway, let's take our last break and we'll go ahead and close it out. Also on the way home, I got completely drenched. I'm just doing more personal news. I love doing this at the end. I got completely drenched, and someone, yet again, has taken my spot and decided to play mechanic. Oh, I love it. This has been a crazy ass fucking day, y'all. And it's going to be a crazy week. I can't believe I signed up for this, but hey, the things I do for love, or at least, some money. Anyway. man. All right, I needed that. Sorry. Y'all know Martha Stewart got a news site or a site that talks about recalls and shit. I did not know this. Today I learned, but from Martha Stewart, also got her news. Let's see. If you shop at Aldi, check your fridge for a recently recalled snack. According to a report from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, Superior Foods Company announced a voluntary recall of 19,368 units of its Park Street Deli cinnamon bun dessert dip due to plastic contamination. There's plastic in the food. Again, it's crazy, y'all. Like, look, I get it, mistakes happen, but it's crazy when something like a metal fragment, a wood chip, a piece of plastic like gets strewn about your fucking inventory, and now people are eating it and like potentially cutting their insides. I mean, I don't think that's been confirmed as of yet, but like that's a potential fear. That's a potential hazard now you have to worry about if you got this sweet, yummy ass dip. I'm assuming it's sweet and yummy because seems like a lot were sold. And you got cinnamon bun dip. I didn't even know it was an option. Like I'm intrigued by this, but then I'm also, scared of it because it might have plastic in it. That's no good, y'all. They got a lot number here. I'm not reading all that. But naturally check it out. Obviously, once again, buyer beware. Don't want you swallowing any plastic or anything like that. You don't need that. Oh, and now I'm thinking though, and we're closing this out. Let's just riff it up. Obviously do the same thing. If you got it, go ahead and return it, throw it out, whatever, get your money or something. What would be good with that? I bet you could do some apples into that. Yeah, fuck being healthy, right? But like, I bet that would be pretty good. I don't know. Ooh, a cookie? Could you dip a cookie? What if you got real crazy? Hear me out before I close out. What if you got a Cinnabon? Like a cinnamon roll, actually. I don't really fuck with Cinnabon. But like a cinnamon roll. Big old cinnamon roll. And then you dip that into the dip. Ooh, no plastic, that hits. I bet that goes hard. All right. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have for today. Like I said, I got to get back to the house. I got to check on those dogs, and hopefully they haven't, used it in the house, and hopefully they will go outside. Anyway, I will obviously be back with more details, more news, more updates on the morrow. Knock on wood. But yeah, let's see. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Become a newsie today. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube, follow on TikTok, follow on Spotify, follow on Apple Podcasts, whatever platform you're on. Leave a like, leave a comment. Sharing is caring. All the stars are appreciated. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.